Good morning and welcome to When Pigs Fly. I am Patty. I'm here with Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so we want to welcome Tracy back from her BVI vacay. And today we are going to jump right in and hear what she experienced. And we're going to hand the mic over to Tracy, and because I don't want to spoil the stew. So let's jump in. Tracy, go for it.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and just start. If you watched prior, I was in the British Virgin Islands for a week living on a boat with my husband and two daughters and their friends. And it was an amazing experience on all kinds of levels. But I did write about it and I want to share because it speaks very energetically to what energies we are in and entering into. So with that, I'll go ahead and just read and then we can discuss. So I labeled the title All of It. And here it goes. I just recently returned from a trip to the British Virgin Islands and being on a boat for 6 days. I was expecting it to be relaxing and peaceful and a means to hit the reset button. In truth, it was one of the most demanding and exhausting trips, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I was not expecting that. But in hindsight, I'm thanking my higher self for so brilliantly orchestrating an experience that did, in fact, give me a major reset and kept me in the dark about the intensity of the trip until I was in the now of it and already fully immersed in the experience. I want to give an analogy here because saying that the trip was demanding and exhausting could be construed as viewing it negatively, or that I had aligned myself to an experience that was not full of peace, ease, and grace. But here's some perspective. Hiking Mount Kilimanjaro, running your first marathon, learning to snowboard or ski, all amazing experiences and ventures in beautiful nature that are physically, mentally, and emotionally demanding and exhausting, and potentially life-changing. I believe that there is something that inherently changes in us forever when we push ourselves outside of our comfort zone and safety nets. We discover a deeper and more potent and powerful level of inner strength and stability. Now, my trip to the BVIs was not near the level of intensity of hiking a mountain, but I'm not going to miss out on the opportunity and availability of the growth and expansion it provided. It would have been fabulous for the trip to have been flawlessly fluid and relaxing, but that was not the case. But if that were the case, I would not have been presented with so many opportunities to strengthen my abilities and awareness to neutralize situations and emotions. Through the presentation of experiences that allowed me to move through things that I'm no longer in alignment with. The contrast of extreme scenarios, like the amazing beauty of nature, even when the wind was whipping and the waves were crashing, presented an image of the duality of light and dark, of grace in the battle. I believe I have intentionally chosen the path less traveled in this lifetime, the unscripted version, the scenic route. My husband and I have always loved to travel, and we love to not follow the tourist guidebook, to not get on the tour bus, but to find a local and have a genuine experience of local culture and living, to eat and drink with the locals, not do what the, not, sorry. My eyes are getting all blurry as I'm reading this, which is so weird. I'm like, stop blurring my eyes. I'm trying to get through this. So
The upgrades
anyway,
are still, the upgrades keep going, Tracy, no matter
that's
what
why
we're doing.
I'm like, can you give me 5 minutes to read this? And my eyes were like blurring over. So I'm just saying it because this is
It's
unscripted
happening.
live. And I'm like having an inner dialogue. Anyway, so my eyes keep getting all blurry. Okay, here we go. So anyway, my husband and I, we don't do what everyone else does. We eat with the locals and we do not hit the restaurant. That's a do not miss on Google. We like to experience all of it, the authentic, non-scripted, uncurated version. And some of the time, this version comes with some bumps and bruises, learning curves, and what could be perceived as challenges and obstacles. But back to the reference of hiking Mount Kilimanjaro, the real deal, the authentic experience, pushing the boundaries, straining some muscles, a few cuts and bruises, exercising grit and stamina, the perceived work, effort, and challenge makes the experience that much more sacred and special. The victory is sweeter. The experience forever alters your reality. All of it. I think that this is important to keep in mind as we navigate the current and incoming energies and transitions. Embrace the new. Chart your own course. Be brave and strong to venture into the unknown. Find comfort in the uncomfortable. Face challenges with a conviction of knowing that you are breaking free from the old and claiming truth. Be aware of all of the experiences, situations, and scenarios that are presenting opportunities to break free, to choose different, to anchor yourself within your heart, to see and experience that you do not need all the safety nets and guidelines, but instead you are your anchor and your guidance. We are moving into a completely new way of being. Strengthen your sea legs, learn to navigate with the winds and the waves, to work with the elements in a synergistic and collaborative way. Feel the power and the strength of the sun, the water, and the wind. Embody it and consider the possibility to be one with it all. Expand your awareness and vision to see and encompass all that is transpiring, the unraveling and dismantling of the old, and the incredible and amazing incoming of the new, all happening simultaneously. Wow. Miracles unfolding second by second, life-changing.
Wow.
Awesome.
So well said. So well said. And there is a massive, we did an energy update on this week. Massive, massive amounts. There was sustained illumination coming through all of us, through the planet, through the cosmos, essentially, that was sustained for 27 hours, which is the longest I've ever seen it, as long as I've been tracking the energy sonograms. And what Tracy was talking about is so important. So when that comes in, it's gonna purge like crazy. So you have outgoing, stuff that's not serving you, that you can either help it along to go, let it go with ease and grace, or you can fight it. And it's filling that void. This illumination is filling the void, and it's an invitation to just, ride the wave. You're not gonna, it's like you can't hold back the ocean. And essentially that was what Tracy was saying, and find that inner stillness and anchor in your heart. And there's nothing to figure out. We have to shed it. We have to shed it. So you get to choose, how you're going to experience it. And then a lot of it, you just kind of, we've all had different, right, symptoms recently. And you ride it out, but always recognize it's happening for you. It really is. It's for your best and highest good. And I think the analogy you gave, Tracy, was so, so helpful. So thank you for sharing that, because um, you know, many of our listeners have done things where they trained, right, and they went through it, and it was like totally worth it. There was a big payoff, and it wasn't about the scraped knee. It was about, wow, the view at the top there was just right, heaven. So
And
Renee, yeah, oh,
I
good.
want to hear Renee's,
Yeah,
obviously,
I
all this.
was too.
For that, I want to add this to the mix because I want to hear what the healers and guides are saying. Because at one point, it was such an amazing experience to be, like I said, with the waves and the wind. But I was in the water and I was paddleboarding, and the wind was pushing me one way, or the wind was blowing one way, but I was getting pushed another. And I put my hand in the water. The current was going one way and the wind was going another. And I said to my husband, I'm like, I don't get this. Like, I should be being pushed inshore and I'm getting pulled out. It, in my head, it logically did not make sense that there was two strong currents. And then I noticed other days I was actually pushed with the wind, like the wind was stronger than the current. And I'm bringing this up because I do believe, Patty and I talked, it's like this washing machine energy. And Patty, you said toilet swishy. And it's very disconcerting because it doesn't make sense. You feel like all the energy should be going one way. And to experience these energies, which literally the current of the water and the wind, very strong and going in opposite directions and not knowing which way your body was going to go. Like
Yeah.
where are we at today on the push? It was the most insane experience. And I'm so grateful that I wasn't missing it. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's so windy in the current. I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah,
These are
it was
energies.
it was almost cyclonic, right? But then our body is like, oh no, where's my stability? See,
Yes,
that's the survival brain going, where's my stability? And then you were like, woohoo, no idea
right.
where the hell I am right now, but I'm whirling.
It is. So it was crazy in so many ways. So, and then Renee, I wanted to say that before you,
Yeah, which is cool, and it fits right into it because as you were talking, they said, I don't know, my readers even around here, they said, I was trying to write really big so I could read it. They said all the elements are playing out and bringing us into a new energy field. And, they're saying this is about going with the flow. And Tracy, that's exactly what you did. You went with that flow. You recognized all the elements. They're not fighting each other. They're working concurrently together as one. Our human brain, like Patty just said, our human brain says, well, this is the way it should be doing. And this is the way it should be going. That's not our energy. That's not where we're at, especially after the actual eclipse. It's this whole new energetic field that is pushing us. They're not even saying inviting at this point. They're saying it's pushing us into the realization that we are no longer into the field that we had been in. Everything had broken down, and Patty did that energetic, for the Schumann last year or last week with the whole energy field and what it was actually doing. And if you listened to that and you sort of put it into the fact of, with the eclipse happening on Monday, and now here we are on, Wednesday. So if you're listening to that point and you're really paying attention to the energy, you will notice and recognize there's a whole new field of existence. As that energy came down from source, it shot down through the sun before the actual eclipse happened. It shot down through the sun, went down into Mother and Father Earth. At that point, if you were looking at it from an energetic point, you'd have saw the Earth come forward with all of these new colors, with all it, there were greens and blues. And when I say that, it's not it's not a color that we can actually, they're so vibrant, it's crazy. And these golds. Then the eclipse came, it started to get a little darker, It was never really completely black. But with that whole aspect, what was then transferring was the energetic misalignments within the new energies, the new fields. Now, what that means for our physical forms is your body's now going back into alignment, which is exactly what Tracy explained, of everything's going, whirlwindy. They're saying just realign. The healers and everybody were realigning everybody's energy field. So you shouldn't have felt so off, but you definitely should be feeling different today because everything has shifted. And they're saying, and I'm pretty sure like all of our listeners are in that field of like, okay, listen, we're going with the flow, we're listening, we're opening, but they're saying some of the people that sometimes we lovingly refer to as, well, now you're on a shit show or you're in this, toilet bowl going down. Even that, okay, if that's where you want to be, that's what you're here to experience. Embrace it, love it. Yeah, great, because they're saying it takes all types to make this world as one. It's now being in the toilet bowl and everybody going down and saying, okay, hey, we're all going together. And I'm going to love you because I recognize you are me and I am you. And recognizing that whole new energetic field we are now in. And as you're purging, because everybody they're saying is purging, you're cleaning out, you're doing like people that had stuff. And I know I was doing this last week, had all this stuff going through everything and just tossing stuff that is like doesn't matter. Of course, there's all sorts of stuff that I had, all this paperwork. I'm like, doesn't matter. All this shit's done. It's over. It's gone. This is about us working with the elements in a new way, recognizing that we are a piece and a part of those elements and how it's affecting not only our energy, our entire life. Because people that had been struggling, notice that, those people that are listening, that had been struggling, did you see that big shift? Did you feel that shift and how nice now all of a sudden everything's fallen into place for you? Because the struggle shit show is over. And it's no longer that energy, it's no longer that field. And as our bodies are going in all different directions, because all the energies coming in are going in all different directions, that's our true selves. We're not just one little physical being that is sitting here in this field and be like, yep, this is how I work, I'm the robotic, whatever. No, everything has shifted. There's energies all over. You want, whatever it is you want, it's really truthfully peace you want. There's, the healers are saying, you want that peace and that love. That's what you want to see in the world. Don't look at it from a big picture. They're inviting us to look at it in your field. So, you know, you're like, oh my God, the world's doing this and everything's falling apart. Okay, yeah, it is. That's great. But guess what? You're a piece and a part of that oneness. Bring it into the oneness. Easiest thing we can do is bring it into our field. Our field of this is, you know, my location. I'm, you know, gonna, you know, look at, like for me, like, okay, I'm gonna look at all of, you know, Buffalo. And okay, we're just gonna hold that space where we want to be, because enough people have been brought into this energetic field when that light came down, and then as that, you know, the whatever, you know, came over to the sun, and as it was passing through, there were people standing outside that were designated specifically to be in that space. So the light came down through them. It went out. It didn't go straight through them. It came down. Some came through their third eye, some came through the throat, some came through the stomach, some came through the knees. Notice nobody came through the feet, because the feet are integrating in this oneness. We're doing this beautiful integration dance, and it's shot down into the earth. Once all those colors shifted, once that passed over and the sun started to come back, the entire earth flipped over. It literally, like how I saw the energy was whoop, completely flipped over, and it's a whole new field that we're on. This is the field of oneness. This is joy, happiness, fun. If you're not having those, you're really missing out, because that's the energy that's bringing us forth into this new field, into this new light, and that is going to allow us to have and to be everything that we've desired, and let go of the old ways, because the old ways of being, it's gone. You're going to be grabbing at straws, and there's nothing to hold on to. So you're going to feel insecure. They're feeling insecure. Okay, listen, help me to feel safety. Reach out to people that you know feel safe. Like, okay, I'm feeling a little, unstable. Come here, watch these. You're your community. Type into the, chat, what's going on? Let us help you through all of this, because this is a fabulous freaking energy of this oneness that is beyond anything we've ever been. So long and short, I felt like I was rambling, but
that was not a ramble in any way. And it's interesting. I can add a little piece to that, and I'll try to find the graph, and I'll do a post about this too for our community. Number one, we've seen a change even in the comments coming into our community. We love you guys. They're sharing their wins, their realizations that they're having. And this is like proof in the pudding of exactly what Renee was just talking about. One of the things that happened as a result of all that light coming in too was there is a magnetic field, obviously, around the sun, that when that burst of energy was coming in, it was so strong that it pushed the magnetic field off of the sun while that energy was coming in, and then it's slowly coming back. And that makes sense, because we've been inverted. We were inverted in fear. We were actually freaking upside down. So what's happened now is the energy, that flip is that we've righted ourselves. And because we weren't meant to come here for struggle and lack and limitation. And it's true. And it's like, now, like, what do you want to create? And absolutely let us know. But I've noticed it just in the last week, even such a cool change in we're seeing it in our community, and and we're grateful for all of you guys, and thank you for sharing, because every single one of you has a unique experience, and just keep that in mind. And we're sharing our story so that you might go, oh, wait a minute, that thing that I was questioning, now I understand. For me, that's perfect. Like, super important. Tracy?
So yes, I love all of this. And Renee, you just reminded me of, I've been getting analogies that this has been coming for quite some time, as I'm sure most of us have. And one of my favorites that you just spoke of, because I saw very distinctly the flipping of the earth. And I saw that people have the opportunity, and still will have, that we learn to anchor into ourselves, into our hearts, and that we thrive free form, kind of, there's so many words, 0 point, all of these things, because you could look at it terrifyingly that we're going to fall out into outer, space, and some will, and that's people dying, and that's okay. It's part of the process. But one of the favorite ones I saw was, because I asked for the analogies myself, is we are these crystalline diamonds. We are the diamond. We are our diamond essence, our true self, and that we've lived in a world, the inverted version of it, of security systems. I always get the analogy of the diamond, you know, like in a Tom Cruise, and it's all the laser light and it's, oh, the security to protect the diamond, and that these laser lights have all been disappearing, and everything from the thought of disease, illness, sickness, and I'm, you know, that all the structures, government, school, medical, but also there's some now very old story and thoughts of ancestral lives and karmic programming and even the use of energy. And they were very serving, but even those, I saw those start to disappear and dissolve. And I thought, oh, wow, like we're really going totally raw, right?
Yes.
That we are everything, right? We don't have to buy into, well, I have this ancestral thing or this karmic thing. That's not necessary anymore. So all of those security, and now it's just this beautiful diamond that's so brilliant, the colors, right? You can't even explain them. And that flip, because once all those things aren't holding us, it flips. And then it's just this, we are all our own beautiful diamond, self-sufficient, anchored into ourself, which, and we've said this many times, allows unity of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Once we're all sovereign, we're all unified. Still a lot for even me to wrap my head around, but when I tell you, because I've been seeing this for a couple of years now, I'm like, I can't believe it's here. Oh my gosh, it's here. Oh my God, it's finally here. I can't believe
Yeah.
it. So, and Renee, you just said it beautifully, you know,
Yeah.
because I've seen that flip. Maddie or Patty, you said we've been inverted. We're actually flipping
We're
to
we're
be free.
we've been in an upside down boat,
Yeah.
wondering why is it so dark and hard to breathe here?
Right. You know what's really cool? That when that eclipse happened, like, after everything moved out, like what they were showing me was every single person on this earth, the only way I can describe it is a tree. Everybody was gold. And all of a sudden you saw, like, everybody's arms like sort of, went up, and then all these other things started to go out. It literally, we all looked like these big, beautiful trees. And then they just started to fill in with all of this beautiful color. I mean, it was just phenomenal to see, and to see everybody in the world, turn into that. And then they started to share, the energy, the flow. And it brought me back to because my oldest used to tell me when he was young, and like I'd, get mad, and he'd be like, Mom, be a tree. And he'd like, be swaying. And it reminded me of that, because then you saw the way everybody was communicating energetically as their trees. And that's how trees, really communicate. And you could see this and feel this communication that everybody was having, and how everybody just really accepted everybody for who and what they were. The words were gone. The meanings to the words meant absolutely nothing, because if we think about it, it's so fucking ridiculous how a word you can be offended by. It's a fucking word. Like, it's insane. It's, ridiculous. So, but it was so beautiful to see this beautiful sense of peace within everything, and how these beautiful trees, like, some were just wanted to stay exactly where they were, because they were anchoring that energy into the earth as that, what I would refer to as that smaller tree. And others were just growing and being, bigger, and just, bringing this energy, that's all I can say, this beautiful light and these symbols and these colors to everybody, and how they were sharing it, and how it would morph into a whole other field. And they said, now pay attention and recognize that we're going to see a lot of freak accidents where a lot of people are going to be losing their lives. But they're saying, it's easy for them to say, they're saying, please don't look at it as, oh my God, this was horrible, and we've got to have justice for this. They're saying, look at it from a point of, these people came here to experience this beautiful energy. They now recognized, and they knew it when they came in, I can help better from the other side, because there is a whole, we look at it from, oh my God, they've shed their physical body, now it's that. No, there is such a huge array of people on that side. They're just losing their physical body. If you stop, you'll feel them there. You'll see them. You'll do, all these things. People that, oh, I saw my whatever. They're there. They came to assist us all in this new energy, in this free form energy that Tracy said so beautifully, from the other side, to assist us and to feel the comfort that they are providing, because they most recently were here on Earth and understand what the earthlings go through, so they can provide the proper energy so that all of us can feel that safety and that comfort and that true oneness. And there's no judgment, there's just love, and just moving forward into this new energy. They're saying, like, look at, our great, grandmother, grandfather, things like that. Look at them. Don't you think they were afraid? Oh my God, the world's changing. It's horrible. Look at same thing. Look at how great we are. It's going to be that same field. We have to move into change. This is some freaking awesome energy coming in. I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, I can't wait to see what else is coming. Does that
Yeah.
all make sense?
100%, yes. And it's exciting. And we gotta also remember, like, start thinking as a multidimensional being. This will help you integrate. Stop thinking you're a tiny thing stuffed in a human body that dies and gets stuffed into a cemetery somewhere. You're an eternal soul that made a choice to incarnate in a body, to have this experience. And we came here at this time to expand. And you heard Tracy say the word expand. You heard Renee say, we're expanding our energy. We're bringing more light in and becoming less dense. And know that, and when you accept this is really healing for a lot of people. When you can accept that, when you know your souls, all these souls that love you, that loved you, they're right there. They're right there. And the more you come into that stillness and awareness and acceptance of who and what you really are, the closer they are and the easier it is for you to feel that and feel that spirit guide. Like, we all know at this point we've got spirit guides. You can tell yourself a different lie out of the fight or flight brain, but that guy's out of business. Like, he's in the unemployment line now because there's no foundation to support him. There's no matrix of fear to support him. So we're really, take a look at where you are now, continue, because there is purging. You might say, well, wait, trying to get into this new energy, right? Where's this new stuff coming in? If anything does present itself, feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. It's almost like it's adios. It's like coming through one more time for one last walk by. And then you just go, okay, thank you very much. You served me, and let it go. So, but allow yourself to feel it. And I know that I had several clients reach out to me that right the day that that big surge came in, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm very, very emotional. Oh, I got a wave of depression." And I was like, "No, just feel it's just on its way out." When you know it's on its way out, you don't have to go in the rabbit hole. Don't go back to all ancestral karma. All of that is gone. Like, I put in the energy report, I said it. We're going in naked. We're
Yep.
going in. You don't have a choice. Your clothes and shit, including material things. If you're clinging on to material things, that's the old matrix. You got to let it go. And then just know all your needs are met. Your wellness is assured. And anything that threatens that or perceived threat is gone. And you're going to find that, safety and beauty and love and stability and fun. Like, have some fun. Have some fun, So, any closing thoughts, Trace?
I just want to jump in with a fun story about Renee saying a lot of people are going to be past, but they're right here available. And two examples, I love real life examples just in the past week, because obviously my trip prior was very, I was clearing the decks. I kept saying out on the boat, clearing the decks, getting my sea legs. So we came home and my husband, we hadn't grocery shopped. Anyway, he made pot roast in Instapot with potatoes and carrots and some meat from the farm. And all of a sudden I said to my daughter, I'm like, ooh, hand me the ketchup. And she's like, Mom, that's gross. You're putting, I'm like, I know, but my grandma used to always make us pot roast and I was little and I loved ketchup with it. And she was right there with me. Like, it's funny how don't miss it because my husband made pot roast. We never make pot roast. We just didn't have groceries. Right. And it was the most, I sat there with squirting ketchup on my meat things. And my daughter was like, that is so gross, Mom. And I'm like, it's so delicious. Like it was, do you see? Like
Yeah.
my grandma was totally with me. She was loving, I was eating the pot roast. And then I said to my daughter, cause it's her cat, my soul cat passed a couple months ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Leela is literally, that's my old cat, is in Remy. Like, do you see that? Like she's taken over her body. And again, she's like, Mom, stop saying that. That freaks me out. So I just wanted to give two examples of how invited in, because they are so with us right now. And I mean like so palpably with us.
Yeah.
And
Don't
it's so,
dismiss it.
yeah,
Welcome it in. They're
yeah,
showing you. Remember right here. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. And I just want to say, Patty, you were saying like the material things, when you're looking around and you're recognizing you no longer have a connection to a lot of the material things that we had. I mean, I noticed I did things that used to mean something to me that I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of whatever, or this is this. I was like, no, throw it out, or giving it to the garage sale and then to Hearts for the Homeless or whatever. Recognize that. Like your vibration has changed and shifted. We're no longer vibrating with the things around us, and honor that.
Yeah.
Release those things, let those be to somebody else who's going to enjoy them, because you're now opening up the space and the energy for the new things, for your vibration, for the fun, the joy, the natural flow of everything.
Yeah. Very true. Well,
Mhm.
great discussion, ladies. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And keep hitting those like and subscribe buttons. We love all of you. Please keep the comments coming because we're absolutely reading them and we're taking your cues for what you want more of. And we're just going to continue to be our crazy selves here. So we love you. And I'll see you guys next episode.